and how it's creating jobs. And I want to appreciate that that is a very good strategy. However, my question is, for professionals who are not in that field, like yourself and myself who did actuarial science, what is the plan of the government to ensure that we do not leave behind professionals that are not in the building sector, but can still benefit from the government programs? And I invite you in October for Youth Revolution Festival. Asante.
Asante. Care from Navakolo. Nafikiri baada ya kusikia swali tutarudi kwenu. Tutarudi kwenu. Sawa, that lady alikuwa anasema maneno ya gender. Yes.
Thank you so much, His Excellency. My name is Silva Julie Malaho from Bungoma County. I'm here to ask a question. As a government, you're not able to reach out to all places. So we have CBOs, CSOs, NGOs. I haven't heard you addressing anything or any funding model. For example, we reach out to young ladies, we give them reusable sanitary towels. And something that the government maybe cannot able to reach out to all those people. And you know, the future is her. And something like a period is a natural occurrence, something that has to be addressed every time and every time. So what is the government doing to ensure that something like that is addressed? Thank you.
Asante, Sylvia. We will take 4 questions. So 2, and then we add it together with the first 2, and then we. Okay. Sawa, tupate swali kutoka huko nyuma.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency President. My name is Musungu Nanyaka, representing Nairobi City County, and also the chairperson of Gen Z Taifa Talk. My question here is, you've talked about human resource, and with the agitations that we've had with regards to the youth are agitated with matters leadership, and leadership is also an issue that regards to human resource. How are we going to ensure that the human resource are, for instance, the police and maybe some of the leaders that we have, are engaging with the people, the common mwananchi, in a diplomatic way from a militant way? Like, for instance, we've had this issue where an MP from this region was planning himself to fight back to the audience that were listening to him. How are we working out on that? Thank you.
Asante Msungu, naomba tupate swali moja kutoka huko nyuma.
Okay.
Tupate jibu, alafu tutarudi tena kwenu.
Okay, I'm going to take 1 minute. My name is Lucy Wanjiro Maina from Nyandarua County, Gadanje Ward. Mine is more of a suggestion. You have said that you are taking into measures of how our youth are going to be employed. I have seen the issue of TSC. They normally roll out on yearly basis the graduates, and they have a TSC number. That way, the people who graduated earlier have more opportunities, na hakutakuwa na ile people who are graduating this year, they are being employed as managers, na watu wenye ambao wako na experience, they are missing out. So if there will be a system in such a way that in each year graduation watu wanapewa rollout number, like for instance we have University of Nairobi, Masinde Moriro, every organization, like from 2017, 2018, 2019 up to now. That way hakutakuwa na ati hiyo yenye if job opportunities arrive, watu wenye wali graduate kitambo wanaenda wakipeangwa hivyo. I think it will be much fair.
Thank you, Lucy.
Yes.
Let me take these questions, and then the microphone should be taken behind there for those people sitting behind there to ask their questions. So as you take the microphone behind there, let me just respond in a way to the issues already raised. My good friend, Mr. Care, has asked about what about professionals in other fields? And that is a very perfect question. And I want to tell you, my good friend Care, that as we expand the opportunities that we have as a country, you know, there are sectors that are labor intensive. And if you want to inject what you can call a stimulus into an economy, like what happened in the US during what was called the Great Recession. Let's remain orderly, please. Just what happened, Mr. Kerr, in the Great Recession in the US. They invested in public facilities, roads, you know, infrastructure. That is where you have the opportunity to create many jobs. And that is what we are doing also in Kenya. For us to be able to deal with a youth bulge, we have to go to sectors that can help us create more opportunities. And that is why we are targeting the infrastructure sector, housing, public works, roads. Those are the sectors that create the most jobs. But that is not to say that we are ignoring professionals in other areas. As we expand the economy, as we create opportunities, programs like what we are doing in universal health coverage is going to expand the human capital that we have in the health sector. Programs that we are working in education. You've just heard Lucy say, as we hire the teachers and we are expanding the horizon in hiring teachers, we must consider those who trained earlier for opportunities so that those who trained later can come after those who trained earlier. So I agree with you, but our focus is to try and deal with the youth bulge, and that is why we are targeting sectors that can help us create more jobs than other sectors. Number two, Sylvia here has said we should think about our CBOs, our NGOs, and others who are major contributors, and they are partners of government in provision of services that government may not necessarily reach out to. I agree with you that there needs to be a partnership between government and the private sector and the civil society and community-based organizations. It is the reason why we have reorganized the NGO sector. We now have a new NGO law that would help for there to be greater interaction between government and the private sector. And as you notice, even in the process of working in housing, it is not government that is building the houses. It is the private sector that is building the houses. It's actually a collaboration between the private sector and government. And the private sector includes community-based organizations, civil society groups, but maybe there is room for us to improve our collaboration with community-based organizations and the civil society. Number three, my good friend has talked about leadership. How do we make sure that there is civil interaction between the public and the police and all the other government agencies, and making sure that we avoid unnecessary, confrontation that comes as a result of making sure that we have a civil country. I agree with you that there needs to be responsibilities, obligations for citizens, for the public, and for everybody. Everybody must have a role to play. Everybody has a contribution to make. Citizens have rights. They too have obligations. The police must have rights, but they must also have their obligations to make sure they secure the nation. So leaders must behave themselves, and so must the police. In our program, we are now undertaking the program of redressing some of the injustices that have happened in the past, and also retraining our policemen and women so that we can have better engagement between the public and our security agencies. And finally, Lucy has made a suggestion. Beatrice Inyankala, please take up the suggestion that has been given by Lucy. She has said that she has some recommendation, and I agree with her, that we need to better organize the absorption of teachers so that those who train earlier do not get stranded, while those who train later are absorbed. We should have a program where we have order in that space. Asante sana. Yeah, let me take some, yes, from behind there.
Mr. President, I have a few questions to echo. And first of all, this is the only chance I've gotten as a comrade to advise you that it is very true that if you don't listen to the voters, then 2027 you might listen to the returning officer. I'm saying this boldly as a believer of kumi bila break. So situharibia appetite